Yeah, well, there's different kind of arrangements you have with fees with attorneys, uh, and just for ease of reference, I'll say there are three main categories. One is contingency, where the attorney gets a share of whatever is recovered, and that's usually associated with personal injury cases. One is flat fee, where you say, here's what it's going to cost, and that's it. That's what it's going to cost. And that's usually when you have something like a will, and so somebody comes in and you say, okay, we can do a will with a trust and a guardianship and so on, and they can give you a flat fee charge for it. And then there's hourly. And the reason attorneys have to do hourly charges sometimes is because a lot of the cases that come into us, we have no idea how much time it's going to take. In fact, I'm working on a lease right now. And, when a client brings in a lease, and this one's about 25 pages, I can read through that lease and note the comments and concerns I have in maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so they say, okay, well, that should charge me, that should cost me 2 hours of your time. But then what happens is I don't know whether that client's going to have a lot of questions about my comments, whether that client's going to want me to explain every objection I have to the form of lease that the other side has presented to me, whether my client is going to want me to negotiate some of those points, all of those points, none of those points with the other attorney. I don't know the other attorney yet. Is he going to be the kind of guy that's cooperative and wants to resolve things, or somebody who just wants to beat a dead horse because they're getting paid by the hour or whatever their motivation is? So a lot of the work we get in our corporate and real estate and non-PI practice is work where we honestly don't know how much it's going to cost, because we honestly don't know how much time it's going to take. And Abraham Lincoln had a saying where he said a lawyer's time is his stock in trade, and that means that really what we have to give to people is our time. And so we just have to do it that way sometimes. And and people can say, well, gee, $300 an hour or $400 or $500 an hour is very expensive. It is expensive, and I wish it wasn't so expensive. But to maintain and establish a law firm where you have very capable paralegals and typists and word processors and IT guys and marketing guys, and have bricks and mortar, a building, and to do all the CLE, continuing legal education, that you're supposed to do, and all the computers and equipment and library and research and on and on. It's very expensive, and unlike some professionals, like if you work with an engineer, they will charge you hourly for every single person down to the runner, $10 an hour. In most law firms like ours, we charge for the attorneys hourly and for the paralegals, but we've got to cover all those other expenses based on those hourly rates. So it is expensive, and unfortunately, because of the nature of the practice of law and the complexity of it and all the technology that's now involved, attorneys just are unable to practice unless those hourly rates are up there high enough to where it'll cover those expenses and give them a reasonable standard of living.